As I said to Tammy, she needn't have rushed. I wasn't getting what tonight's subject is a very interesting one. I cannot think of a better occasion than to have so many people whom I've learned from, whom I've relied on, who have been with me through good and bad. It is just really an extraordinary thing to be able to do. I will say one thing that did occur to me as I've spent my last, what turned out to be my last couple of years, people have said several times that I didn't suffer fools, and that may have been true for my first 30 years, but these last 2 years, given who was elected in 2010, my job has been to make fools suffer. A month from now, 30th of May, will be the 25th anniversary of my telling the Boston Globe that if they asked me if I was gay, I would say yes. And people may remember some of the good friends who are here. It's interesting, back then in '87, I thought it was time to acknowledge who I was. I've been struggling with trying to keep it a secret. I did stupid things in the course of all that, and I needed to do it, but I was afraid it would have negative consequences, and I was prepared to sort of minimize them. So when I was asked, my specific answer was, "Are you gay? Yeah, so what?" I was at that time trying to argue that, well, you know, my sexuality is no big deal, but it's in fact the case, of course, is that if your sexuality, that important part of you, is no big deal, then you have my sympathy. I underestimated our ability as a community to have our reality defeat the prejudice. And that's what it's been. Yeah. It's been a series of our reality confronting the prejudice. And we have made enormous gains. I like reading history, including some military history. And one thing I've garnered from reading military history is one mistake that some great generals have made is when they have won a victory and are on the verge of further victories, they pause, they hesitate. And you can understand why. You've got your troops who have been driven, who have suffered greatly, war being such a terrible thing. There's a natural instinct to say, okay, we can afford to take a break. But it is precisely when you are on the verge of complete victory that you have to step up. And we are on the verge of that victory over the next 10 years, I believe, given the changes demographically, given the fact that truth will beat the blatant unreality if it's out there. But that's all the more reason for us to continue to put the pressure on.